Okay, so we're going to pretend that this is Grow Out, and we're going to fill in with the same color back here. So if this is my finger, I'm going to say there was top coat on this. I'm going to file all the top coat off and kind of smooth this bump right here out so it's more flat. So if this was my finger, I would go, oops, let me stay in frame for you. And I would file it, make sure you dull your edges of your file so it doesn't cut your cuticles. I will repeat that probably every video I do. Okay, so I'm gonna file that till I like how it's almost completely, let's see. So I'm gonna take a little bit more off right there. And this looks good. So make sure all your top coat is off. There's nothing. Now I will take my base coat and I'll get my color that I used. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to do super thin, not touching my cuticle, back my brush up, and just go to right about there. Very carefully around my cuticle. Now there's two ways you can do this. You can pour over or you can just lay it in. I wouldn't straight dip it. And I would just kind of leave it, let it soak up that. So now we have a nice little fill, but it's probably not quite as much as you'll want. So you'll want to let this dry. And then I think it's pretty dry because I soaked up a lot of powder. Yeah, how it's thin, it's not quite. So I'm going to do one more. And I just used a neutral color because I don't know if you were to do this with glitter, it would probably be a little bit harder. But just kind of, and see how I like went up and like jaggedy kind of. So it kind of blends so there's less buffing in the end. So I'm going to dip this. If this was my finger, I would go like this and dip like that, but obviously like that. It's so hard to show you on a swatch. Okay, now I'm gonna make sure that's dry. So that's pretty good. But we have this bump right here that we don't want. So what we're gonna do is not quite dry. You want this to sound like this. So we're gonna give that a few more seconds. I'm gonna close my color because I always spill. Okay, not always, but I have. And wait. See, if you're not patient enough, then once you buff that, it's gonna peel right off. But it's nice because when you do your nails, you do this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. By the time you get back to this one, they're dry. But with a swatch, no. Okay, we're getting there. Now I'm gonna activate it. I'm gonna use my fancy new activator. Love the dropper. So make sure you soak it. The more activator, the better. You can't have too much activator. It's not going to do anything but harden it more and soak in more. Now we have to let that dry completely. This is the time-consuming part of videos, which I hate. If I could figure out how to edit them and be fancy schmancy like all those other ladies on YouTube, I would, but I'm not fancy. So right now, while we're letting it dry, it's really rough in the back, but that's okay because as soon as it clinks, we're going to buff it so that this blends with this. Okay, okay. I'm getting there. Almost. It's because I did it so fast. Okay, so now, no, not quite. I hope you guys are enjoying the group. I was so excited that it actually had, you know, a place. And I Googled it, and all it was a bunch of different, like, professional people and super picky, snooty people, and I didn't want to deal with that. Okay, we're good. So now I'm going to take buffer. 3-sided buffers are my favorite. This one I've obviously used a lot, so I'm going to use this side. If this was brand new, I would take my file and I would do the ends, the edges, and get all of the sharpness off. So if this was my nail, I would take this. I would use this, not the roughest, the second roughest side. And I'm going to go all the way back to my cuticle without stabbing myself, and just rubbing it in kind of a, just like this, just back and forth, side to side. And if you focus on just one like this, back and forth, you're going to have a flat edge. This is the part where I would fast forward, but since you're here, you can fast forward through it if you want. And notice I haven't activated yet. You don't have to. Oh, no, I did activate. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind today. Did I tell you I had surgery last week? I'm telling you. Rewind that statement. It just didn't say that. So see, I still have that big bump, so I'm going to take a little bit coarser file and get that bump so it doesn't take so much buffing. Get rid of that. Okay, that's better. Okay, so now I'm going to finish off my buffing, and I'm going to go to the smoothest side. So this doesn't hurt at all when you do it on your fingers, obviously, because as long as you dull your edges, you're good. I'm going to do this till I have absolutely no bumps or grooves or weird spots. So that blended in pretty darn good. I'm going to hit it with activator one more time after so if this was my cuticle, I would go like this just to make sure that this part is smooth and rounded. Because when you have these little bumps, that causes lifting. Okay, now I'm going to activate it one more time, just for fun, because you can't have too much. Let that dry. Whoops. And then I'm going to wipe this with a lint-free cloth. I don't use the regular liquids top coats because I like shiny, 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 and I can never get it right. But I'm going to use them right now. So I understand with any top coat, you're going to do quick swipes. Don't go over where you went, even if you missed a tiny bit. And then counting so that I know that I could have done 5 fingers by now. And then you go in for more detailed. Go around, not touching your cuticles. And make sure you cap your edges, the free edge, and let it dry. So there you go. We have a fill. So pretty. Okay, I hope that helps. Let me know. Okay, bye.